Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're tackling a huge question, one that's buzzing everywhere in tech, making headlines, and honestly, causing a bit of anxiety for, I think, many of you.
Yeah, that question, is coding and software development actually dead?
Exactly. We hear constantly about AI writing code, building apps just from talking to it, automating really complex stuff.
It makes you wonder, right? What's the future for developers?
So to really get into it, we've pulled together some really fascinating perspectives today. We're looking at insights from people right at the center of it all.
We've got Andrew Ney, co-founder of Coursera, CEO of DeepLearning.ai. Really sharp guy.
And Thomas Domke, who's the CEO of GitHub. They're behind Copilot, so he's got a front row seat.
Plus, Reid Hoffman, co-founder of LinkedIn, always has interesting takes on tech and the future of work.
So our goal, our mission for this deep dive is to unpack what they're saying, look at the actual evidence.
And figure out what the future really holds. For anyone building things with code or thinking about it, we want to get past the hype.
Yeah. Beyond the headlines. Find the real story in this this whole changing landscape.
Let's do it.
Okay, so let's start with that initial skepticism. Because when AI first started, showing signs it could write code, a lot of experts were, well, doubtful.
Right, even someone like Thomas Donkey. He's got this deep background in compilers, understands code translation inside out.
And he openly said he first thought it wouldn't work, just flat out.
Yeah, he couldn't really wrap his head around how AI could keep the syntax straight, for Python versus Ruby versus whatever. Seemed impossible. It wouldn't just mess it all up.
But then, well, things changed.
Then the magic, as he called it, started happening. Tools like GitHub Copilot, for instance, they just started writing a lot of code.
How much are we talking?
Well, their data showed it was writing like 25% of the code where people were using it. And that number's only gone up since then.
Wow, 25%. That's significant.
It is. And it's not just simple automation. It's really about speeding up the whole development process.
Helping engineers stay in that flow state.
Exactly. Keeping them focused, productive, reducing how often they have to stop, look up documentation, find code snippets online. It's like having this assistant right there with you.
Which leads to this term people are throwing around, vibe coding. It almost sounds too easy, right? Like you just feel the code into existence.
Yeah, the name is maybe a bit misleading. Andrew Neng calls it a deeply intellectual exercise, actually. Not casual at all.
Okay, so not just vibing.
Definitely not. But the idea behind it is real. It's about using these AI assistants to prototype super fast.
Then offload the tedious stuff.
Right, the boring parts.
Yeah.
Fixing repetitive bugs, generating standard boilerplate code, writing basic tests, stuff that's necessary but, can pull you out of the creative thinking part.
So you're guiding the AI, not just accepting whatever it spits out.
Precisely. You're refining, directing, making sure it fits the bigger picture. The goal, like Domke says, is getting that idea into a real product as fast as possible.
Okay, but here's where it gets really interesting and maybe a bit serious. Both N and Domke give this really strong warning.
Yeah, it's about this advice going around.
Telling people not to learn to code because, AI will just automate it all anyway.
And they say that's basically some of the worst career advice ever given. Really strong words.
Why so strong? What's the counter argument?
Well, if you look at history, there's a clear pattern. Every time coding got easier.
Like moving from punch cards to keyboards?
Exactly. Or from assembly language, really low-level stuff, to something like COBOL, which is more readable.
What happened then? Fewer coders?
Nope. The opposite. More people learned to code every single time. Easier access meant wider adoption.
Huh. Okay.
And they argue that same pattern's happening now with AI. It's making coding more accessible, so more people will engage with it.
So it's like Jevons paradox,
Right.
where efficiency increases demand.
Exactly. That's the analogy some are using. Jevons paradox for software engineering. The better AI gets at helping us build software, the more software we'll end up wanting and building. It expands the whole pie.
So let me get this straight for someone listening. Maybe you're a developer now or thinking about it. Even if AI writes, say, 90% of all code.
Which is a hypothetical, but okay.
Right, hypothetically. If the total amount of code being created explodes, maybe grows 10x.
Then the human developer is still doing just as much, maybe even more, of the important creative work.
It's acceleration, not replacement. A bigger field, not fewer jobs.
That's the core argument. It's a fundamental shift in how we work, not if we work.
Okay, that makes sense. So if AI is writing chunks of code, the developer's role has to be changing, right? It's not just typing line by line anymore.
Absolutely. It's becoming much more strategic. The craft itself is evolving.
How so?
Andrew Ng uses this great analogy. He talks about AI tools being like Lego bricks.
Like different building blocks.
Exactly. You've got all these specialized bricks now, like LangGraph for managing complex AI workflows, or RAG, Retrieval Augmented Generation, which lets AI pull in specific current info.
So it's not just generic AI, it's specialized tools.
Right. Chatbot tools, memory tools, guardrails for safety, evaluation frameworks, lots of different shapes and colors of Lego.
And the developer's job is?
Knowing which brick to use when. Eng says the key skill becomes figuring out which of these steps do you work on to improve the performance, or knowing which specific squiggly, weird-shaped Lego brick you need to plug in right now.
So less focus on building the basic brick, more on choosing and combining them.
Precisely. It shifts the focus. Instead of maybe writing a data retrieval function from scratch, you might configure a RAG system, tune it, and then spend your energy evaluating its output. It's higher-level design.
Which means, as you said, a new focus on orchestration, putting the pieces together.
Yes, and critically, validation. That becomes huge.
Validation, meaning checking the AI's work.
Absolutely. If an AI agent proposes changes or generates a whole function, the engineer has to verify what the agent has done.
You can't just trust it blindly.
No way. You need to read the code, check that it actually meets the business requirements, and crucially, make sure it's secure, reliable, no holes.
Domke warned about that, right? The security risk.
He really emphasized it. So without that understanding of the code and its implications, you could easily create insecure code. And that could really damage your business. It puts a premium on human oversight and deep understanding.
So it's not just about writing code, it's about understanding the whole system, the architecture, the security, the goals.
Exactly. You need that systems understanding more than ever. How does it scale? How do the pieces fit? But also, N points out something else that's often overlooked.
What's that?
Mastering evil frameworks. Evaluation. How do you know if the AI-generated stuff is actually good?
Ah, right. Not just trusting it feels right.
Yeah, he says people often skip systematic evaluation. They prefer just looking at it. Eyeball evils, he calls them, which are slow and inconsistent.
So what's the alternative?
His advice is pragmatic. Build really awful evils fast. Even if it takes just 20 minutes. Get something in place. Then improve it over time.
Why start awful?
Because it gives you a starting point to iterate. It helps you pinpoint what's the one step that is broken or what's the one prompt that needs fixing. It's about measurable improvement, not just subjective feelings, precise debugging.
This sounds like, well, it sounds like AI could actually make coding more accessible, not less, if it handles some of the complexity.
That's a huge part of the argument. The sources are really strong on this point. It's a resounding yes.
Really?
For everyone. Andrew Ng shared this amazing story from his AI fund. He said literally everyone there knows how to code now.
Everyone. Like the receptionist, the CFO.
Yep, including the person that runs our front desk receptionist and my CFO. His words.
Wow. Okay, but are they aiming to be software engineers?
No, that's not the point. It's about enabling them to better able to tell a computer what they wanted to do.
So practical automation for their own jobs.
Exactly. Automating spreadsheet tasks, generating reports quickly, whatever helps them day to day, driving meaningful productivity improvements across all of these job functions.
So AI isn't just for the pros, it's becoming a tool for, well, for anyone who needs to solve problems with a computer.
That's the vision. And Thomas Domke sees this leading to way more developers in the next 5 years.
More developers, because it's easier to start?
Precisely. AI lowers the barrier to entry. He imagines kids getting into this by using Copilot, building little micro apps for themselves.
Like an allowance tracker or something.
Yeah, exactly. Simple, personalized things. It democratizes access to building software, getting past those initial hurdles that used to scare people off.
Reid Hoffman had a take on this too, didn't he? About the coding mindset.
He did. He argued that basic coding skills and thinking like a coder will still be super useful.
Even with AI doing the heavy lifting.
Yeah, he used the analogy of math and calculators. Calculators exist. But understanding math, the principles, how to apply them, is still fundamental, right?
Sure, you need to know what calculation to do.
Exactly. The job of human calculating machine is gone, but the understanding isn't. He thinks it'll be the same for coding. The understanding, the logic, the problem-solving mindset remains key.
Okay, so AI is changing development, making it more accessible, But it's also opening up completely new areas, isn't it? And probably creating new challenges, too.
Oh, definitely. New frontiers are emerging. Think about voice stack applications, for example.
Voice, like talking to our apps more.
Yeah. Andrew Dang is apparently very excited about voice applications, sees very large enterprise use cases. But he notes they get way less attention from developers compared to, say, text-based AI,
Why is voice so interesting?
because it lowers user friction. People feel less pressure talking than typing perfectly crafted prompts. They can just start talking. It feels more natural.
What's the catch? Why isn't it everywhere?
Latency is the main technical hurdle. That little delay while the AI thinks. But Eng says there are clever tricks.
Like what?
Things like having the AI give a quick pre-response like, okay, thinking,
Mm.
or playing subtle background noise in a customer service bot to make the silence less awkward. Little things to smooth out the experience.
Interesting. And what about getting all these different AI tools and agents to actually work together? That sounds complicated.
It is. And it's leading to new ideas like protocols. MCP Multi-Agent Communication Protocol is one Eng mentioned.
MCP, what's that supposed to do?
It's a way to standardize how AI agents connect to data sources and APIs. Try to make it less of a mess.
How so?
Right now, connecting every agent to every possible data source is like N times M connections, a nightmare to manage. MCP aims for a standard way, so you just connect each agent once and each data source once. More like N plus M. Much simpler.
Kind of like USB for AI agents. Plug and play.
That's the general idea. Imagine agents automatically finding and using different services, CRM, payments, support, without humans writing custom glue code for every single connection.
But is it ready yet?
N calls it a fantastic first step, but still early. A bit like the Wild West. Authentication is clunky, finding resources isn't smooth yet, needs more structure like hierarchical discovery.
And agents talking to each other.
That's even earlier, he says. Huge potential for complex systems where AIs collaborate. But technologically, we're just scratching the surface.
Okay, let's switch gears slightly. For the entrepreneurs listening, does all this AI capability mean it's harder to build a unique business? If anyone can just prompt an AI.
That's a valid concern, but Domke pushes back. He argues that to build a really big billion-dollar business with AI, you still have to be a developer.
Why?
Because if you only use prompts, your business isn't truly differentiated. Anyone else can prompt the same thing. There's no unique value, no moat.
Reid Hoffman agrees with that, right? About differentiation.
Strongly. He said, sure, AI makes building basic apps easier, but the real opportunity lies in building 10 by 100x more complex things than we could before.
So it raises the bar for innovation.
Exactly. Entrepreneurs need to focus beyond just the AI model. They need deep product thinking, smart go-to-market strategies, finding genuinely new directions.
Where does Hoffman see those big opportunities?
He points to huge areas like healthcare. Imagine AI medical assistants better than the average doctor, available 24/7. Or education, truly personalized AI tutors for every single subject, every age. These are incredibly complex systems, not just simple prompts.
Right, that's far beyond just asking an AI to write a simple app.
Miles beyond. It requires deep domain knowledge, complex system design, and development skills.
Okay, so let's circle back. We started with the big question. Is coding and software development dead? After diving into all this, what's the verdict?
Well, based on these experts, it's a clear no. Far from dead.
But it's definitely changing.
Oh, dramatically. Coding isn't dead, it's evolving. AI is this incredibly powerful co-pilot, an accelerator, even a democratizer.
Opening the doors for more people.
Exactly. More people building more complex, more innovative software than we've ever seen before.
And the human skills that matter most are...
Problem solving, critical thinking, that validation piece we talked about, checking the AI's work, and creative orchestration, knowing how to combine these powerful tools effectively, those become even more central.
So it really does sound like the future isn't AI replacing humans.
No, it's humans leveraging AI,
Yeah.
becoming, well, maybe super developers isn't quite right, but definitely more capable, more strategic.
Amplified developer.
Amplify, yeah, I like that. Reid Hoffman had a great quote about fear. He said,
Yeah.
the best way to deal with anxiety about job displacement isn't to hide from it.
It's to embrace the tech.
Exactly. Adopt the technology, learn about it, learn how to use it to upskill yourself. You become the conductor of all these AI agents orchestrating their power.
The human ability to define the goal, understand the context, guide the tools, that remains essential.
More valuable than ever, arguably.
Yeah.
The what and the why become even more important when the how gets easier.
Okay, so definitely not dead. Evolving, expanding, accelerating. That seems to be the
Yeah, a very
consensus.
dynamic time to be involved in building things.
All right, let's leave our listeners with something to think about. Here's a final thought for you to chew on. If AI is getting so good at writing code, helping generate ideas, even building prototypes, what is the next truly unique human contribution? Beyond just the act of creation itself, what's the irreplaceable human spark you see in this AI-powered future? What really stands out?